Game number 1 between Team Russia and Nothing Left, ladies and gentlemen. And well, as it is the first game of the series, let me just reiterate real quickly the rules of Meta Madness. 11 heroes are pre-banned for the entire tournament. Those heroes can't be played at all. Those heroes are Abathur, Anubarak, Diablo, Garrosh and Genji, Hanzo, Maiev, Sergeant Hammer, Tracer, Tyrande and Zeratul. Outside of those 11, the next rule that comes in is that every single hero that gets banned within a series, in the best of 5, gets banned not for the upcoming map, but for the entire series. Only for that one specific series. So as we're heading into a potential 5th map, that means that we have up to 41 heroes banned out. So pretty crazy, and especially on map 4 and map number 5, if it comes to that, teams have to start thinking about how they fill those slots quite a bit. There's a link in the YouTube video description that's also available to everybody watching this on Twitch Live right now, where you can keep track of those bans, or at least see which heroes were in total all banned out, where I'm currently marking down every single hero that gets banned here, so that the players also can keep track, because as you can imagine, with 41 banned out on a 5th map, at some point it starts to become a little bit more complicated. So with that said, we're heading into our series here in the winner bracket. So the winner of this goes straight to the grand final, the overall final of Meta Madness, whereas the loser will still have a chance in the lower bracket where they would face off against Granite Gaming next. Ana banned out, Imperius also taken away. And after Alexstrasza and Ana was banned, we actually are starting to see a bit of a focus on supports. Didn't have a lot of that. Now, the 11 heroes that are pre-banned for the entire tournament were actually decided by the community. And interestingly enough, the only support that was banned out was Tyrande. For good reason. I personally thought we would see a few more supports here. But there's also the ban against Reyna. That guy is an absolute beast and has been a very reliable ban in most of these cases. Look at this, linked with Malfurion. I like that, because Kolya Martian on the Russian team loves to play as Malfurion, and Linked is just saying, you know what, you're not gonna get that. I'm gonna take that away from you, and then let's see how you play it. Normally, if you are seeing a setup like this, what tends to happen is that Rhaegar, for example, becomes a very good substitute. And that could literally be happening here again, since on Infernal Shrines you obviously get also added value through the Lightning Shield. There we have it. Reyna and Jaina. Rhaegar and Jaina. There we go. Jaina normally doesn't really make it far into a best of 5 either, because she very early gets banned too. We have Johanna taken, and Gul'dan gets picked here as well, as we're heading into the next 2 bans to make this 17 in total. You could ban the offlane right now. Could ban also a bit more auto attacks. Phoenix is actually, for example, an interesting one, because he sometimes gets banned and sometimes gets completely ignored in a series. So I'm curious to see where he ends up here. Rexxar gets banned. Both of these teams have been playing Rexxar. Both of them. So both of them have been playing Rexxar in pretty much every series that they had so far. Mal'Ganis gets taken out as well, as we're heading into our last few picks here. But yeah, interesting setup there for sure. We had a lot of Rexxar played yesterday, but this time they're just saying, okay, this is kind of it. No Misha this time. No animal husbandry. It's not happening here today. Podibos is going to be sad about that. And of course, Team Russia would have probably liked to play Rexxar as well. There's the bird. False set coming in again. We had the Hinterland Blast just recently, and if you drop an Entomb right now and we actually see Hinterland Blast over the Gust, together with a potential Ring of Frost, or at least the Blizzard, that should be a lot of burst damage. But keep in mind that with Mighty Gust and Entomb, you can actually make great isolation kills. You gust the targets after we see an Entomb and you isolate them completely. There's Phoenix, and there's also Yrel taken, as we are heading into our first game in the best of 5. Infernal Shrines with the last pick of Stalk. What's the tank going to be for him? Tyrell is available, hero that he played quite a bit. Actually, we still have a lot of tanks around. The main 3 are banned. But with only Imperius and Mal'Ganis targeted so far, you still have options. And they go for Stitches actually already. Alright. Stitches, Jaina, with Rhaegar dropping the totem. And that could also be Gorge Gust as well. So Gust has now all of a sudden become a lot more likely. Not only the synergy with Entomb, in addition to that, the synergy with Gorge. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 between Nothing Left and Team Russia on Infernal Shrines. Game on, everybody, as we are heading into our first map in the best of 5. Stalk on Stitches on the left side. Khaldor Martian, this time on Rhaegar, since his Malfurion got picked away from him again. Toxic is playing the Leoric in this first game. We have Barnaby on Jaina and Falenda on Falstad. On the right side of the map, Boss with Urel for nothing left. We see linked on Malfurion, Blakitni on Phoenix, and Zadoon on Johanna with Guru on Gul'dan. And it's kind of interesting. We have pretty much Poland going up against Russia. And all those Eastern European countries, they have done extremely well, not only in the HGC times, but also in the post-HGC era. These guys have been absolutely killing it. I mean, yesterday, if you looked at the games, that series between Granite Gaming and Nothing Left, like, wow, just wow. That was quite something. And we could see a rematch. We actually could see a rematch depending on the outcome of this game. Oh, Boss jumping in. If he would have been able to push them in a little bit deeper, they might have even gotten the kill there. Podi himself is in trouble and has to jump out. Everybody low, but nobody dying so far. It becomes a little bit of a trend. Hook connects. Nicely done. It's only against Johanna, and Jojo can still move away. Now, we talked a bit in an earlier series where Fury played for Granite Gaming about Falstads, and especially the setup that Granite Gaming had, where they put Falstad onto the top of the map into the solo lane. We don't have that, since we still see the traditional Leoric versus Urel setup. And now that Falstad is actually sitting in the mid-bot lane setup, you can get a lot of the stacks together for Season's Marksman. This is pretty much exactly what we mentioned in the previous series. So it's an adjustment in the build that also reflects the position that Falstad is being played in. So there's no windman shenanigans where you try to steal your opponent's camp, but instead just the focus onto the front line later on in the game. Talking about focus, Blakitni. Guru is just going straight for the camp. Blakitni immediately went to the side and said, like, I'm gonna get that bird. I'm gonna grill that bird. I love myself some chicken, and if I can get the bird, then we are gonna have a great lunch today. But with that said, the teams are just like looking at camps right now. We have, of course, already seen in the middle of the map the left and right side taken by each team. Now the top left, a bit of an early approach here into the Shaman camp. Bottom of the map, that tri-lane that we're seeing here, that double, is actually starting to become a bit of a problem for Falenda. He needs to be careful there. The top side too. We have Boss currently still doing well against Toxic with the level 4 talents coming in. We see a slight slam focus on the side of Stitches. With Bird also going into hammer gains. If you go for an auto attack build, this is pretty much what you normally see as a level 4 talent. We've seen in the past a couple of adjustments on the level 4 where you can also go into your barrel roll. Depends a little bit on what you're playing against and what the setup is. But if you find yourself in a solo lane in particular, or lots on a lane alone, then that gives you also a bit more lane sustain and really helps in the later team fights too. So going into the hammer gains here. At the same time, we have Sins exposed for Jojo. Also, again, Neil Peasants. All that AoE, getting that extra siege damage in. And Blakitni, and they can't get enough damage in. Boss is already there helping out, and not only that, they're nearly dropping Toxic. Nearly the counter kill for them. Shrine is already active, so we're having Stitches just sharking around there, not activating that just yet, but Nothing Left gets an early shot against this. This is a tight one. This is actually a tight one. I am really interested in this one in particular, because this is going to be a super cool game, I feel. We have such an amazing setup from both of the teams that we had in the past. I can't wait to see how they're actually measuring up against each other right now. Kill number 1 against Malfurion. The support is down, and that's always a bad start. If you lose Leoric in a setup like this, you can always recover. If you lose the offlaner, it's already bad enough. But then again, if you lose your sustain, then you are in a world of pain. And they're so far behind in the stacks that this should be an easy grab for Team Russia. If there's no kill against anybody, then that should be a great opening here for the Russian team. Keep in mind, they have lost a little bit of that advantage that they naturally had in a lot of the games yesterday, because they're starting at the blue team. So no red power for them. Falstad goes down. That's pretty much an indication of that right there. Barnaby, then again, is also a little bit far out. And they're losing more than only Falstad. They're losing Jaina as well. Jaina and Falstad both down. And that's actually a bit dicey. What does the Punisher do for you when you lose 2 heroes in the process? And all of a sudden it can be burned down within seconds. That's exactly what we're seeing here. Down goes the Punisher. And the value, I guess the wall a little bit. 1 tower still there. So that's not quite what they thought they could pull off with this one. Especially how dominant they were at the start. And now you look at experience and you're already seeing that we're having 4-0 left, a slight lead despite the fact that they lost the first objective. 18 stacks also for Gul'dan on the Echoed Corruption, which is another great tool for them to have. Whenever you have these shrine fights, you usually get a lot of stacks together, and he's already doing a good job on that. The bird, then again, Farlander is only sitting at 9 stacks for a seasoned marksman, mainly because he could really be part of a rotation in the early game, as he probably hoped for, but instead was stuck at that bot lane dealing with a 2-3 man push that we saw for most of the early game. So he could only soak 1 lane of minions. Well, still seeing for Leo, the willing vessel for even more lane sustain. Helps him, of course, against Urel up at the top. Urel herself going full into the hop build with the Avenging Wrath here. And the stage is set. Earlier level 9 and nothing left has actually done extremely well considering that they lost the first Punisher. Yeah, Kalami impressed. Looks good. Once again, Banabir on the side gets some damage in. Kidney and Guru are both slightly zoned out. Actually doing really well here. As long as Banabir doesn't get attacked by Potibos, it's all fine. And now they have to move away and the camp goes over to Nothing Left. Nothing Left has played fantastic recently. I mean, these guys, like all of the teams, they have so many teams that play now in Division S in the post-HEC era that actually are just incredibly powerful. And oftentimes you keep forgetting about that until you see them go up against opponents that are just weaker. Even a 5 Grandmaster team, for example, seeing them go up against formerly professional players or just a mixed team of former pro players and other, very, very quickly shows you how much of a skill gap there actually is. We've seen similar things when watching the early rounds of Gold Club, for example, in China, where it's also very transparent that other teams just can't measure up against this. And obviously the general skill level in Heroes on the highest level of play has fallen after HGC got cancelled, but it's still pretty awesome to have that level of competition there and see players compete. And especially with the Division S being established, one of the effects that oftentimes isn't even talked about is that you have a stable scene where tournaments like the Nut Cup, where tournaments like Meta Madness can find teams that are quite stable in and of itself, and therefore you have a pretty solid setup to run tournaments, to run additional events, and it comes through having a league where players play on a regular basis. So overall, quite fun. There's always a question that comes in, why does Urel jump though so much? And the answer to the question is pretty obvious, duh. Because she can! Well, and there she jumps again, but is she gonna get out of there? That's the question. Burned the ult already, and Potibos escapes. Yeah, there's a lot of cools that got, by the way, burned here. Not only Urels, we're having with Stitches, committing to the bile there, the Entomb being used, and also, of course, the water elemental itself getting dropped. Seeing all of that coming through here. The big trading cooldowns. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like Nothing Left didn't invest anything. They had to pop the ult on Urel. They had the Blessed Shield out and also Phoenix with a salvo. So it's pretty much an even trade, but that was a huge commitment. And at the end of the day, there's nothing that really happened there. The big commitment down to the bottom again with the bird at the top lane. Has to fly in to make this a 5 versus 5. So far, we're actually still missing Farlander. He comes in just as Urel jumps, and Urel is actually getting hammered into the ground, but is able to move out, and linked with the Tranquility is keeping the boys in play. Horrify is being used, and Gul'dan is able to get the corruption through. 34 against 13 stacks. And it looks like Nothing Left is going to walk away with this one. Arcane Punisher taken by them. And we still haven't seen a kill in this fight yet. All the kills came from the earlier setup. And they're starting to make the move down at the bottom of the map as the top lane is still getting attacked by this camp. But the tower homes in on the Shaman, and that's going to put an end to this quite quickly. In the meantime, Stork is in trouble. Stitches might fall, but as it stands, it's Jojo that dies. It's a 4 versus 5 as they pushed in together with the Punisher. And Jojo is down, and Stork still in play. Arcane Sentry is, of course, always a problem. If you ever played Diablo 3, especially if you played Diablo 3 Hardcore, You're probably very familiar with arcane sentries. The nightmare of every squishy when they already just pop up under you, and the same transfers also over into Heroes of the Storm. Believe me, those things have killed more than only one hero over the years. So down to the bottom of the map, we're having now camps taken. Both of the teams hit 13 at roughly the same time. That said, we're also seeing on 13 again the Earth Shield, and I can't stress enough how important that talent can be. With the delay that you have on the Ancestral Healing, you always want to pop that first. Link also nearly gets popped here as Khaldor. Oh, nicely done. Guru has to drop the Horrify to save him, but then they're able to get the kill against Jaina too. Well done, well connected here. And they're trying to make it a double kill as they go for Stitches. But with the bird flying in, they're not quite getting that setup that they were hoping for. Farlander has to use the gust too, but they're still able to keep everybody alive. Well, maybe not. Okay, scratch that. They're keeping most of them alive. They're losing Leoric, but then again, Leoric doesn't really count. He's always ghosting back. The problem that we are now seeing for Team Russia is that Nothing Left still has Urel doing all of this at the top in the mid lane. She's been rotating, and it actually transfers into a very solid advantage and experience for Nothing Left. Simply because they were able to catch all of that extra experience and nearly a level ahead right now. And they're still making rotations here as Team Russia is forced to send someone to the top lane to deal with that. Urel stood in the middle for a little bit longer, turned that into a quick 5-man push against the gate, and they destroyed some of the structures before focusing on the next tier. So yeah, Nothing Left with a very solid performance here so far. Up to the top lane. We're having still Falstad trying to get the global value. It's pretty interesting if you think about it, that the team with the global hero is currently trailing behind in experience a bit. But at the same time, it allows you also to close that gap a bit easier. Now in this case we don't see Urel with a Divine Steed on level 7, but sometimes even that has been used just to have the easier transition between lanes and make sure that you don't lose out on anything. But obviously the goal for Team Russia is to also get level 16 for the next objective. And Farlander is still farming stacks for his level 1. We're sitting at 9 right now. But they're half a level away from 16. Should be able to get that though. With them having heroes in every single lane, waiting for those waves to come through, they should be in a position where that level 16 talent is definitely going to happen. Especially since they're now also focusing on the mercenary camp. That's going to be helping to push through the top lane. Going to drop a little bit more XP into their hands too. Having Stitches still sitting mid-side. But yeah, it's going to be an even fight. Problematic as always is if you lose that fight and you're already behind, then there's a good chance that you'll get pretty quickly snowballed, especially since that fort at the bottom was destroyed earlier, which increases the passive experience now for the other team. No Gorge, by the way. We talked about the option to go Gorge with Gust, but we don't have that. Putrid Vial for the fight. Ooh, and Entomb actually misses. Half miss. I mean, 44 still gets a bit isolated, but not enough. Ancestral! The double kill against Jaina and Falstad. The Ancestral, maybe 0.2 seconds too late, gets reset. But with 2 heroes down and both of the damage dealers eliminated, this is pretty much Nothing Left, already putting a nail into the coffin that contains Team Russia's attempt of winning that Punisher. Frozen Punisher comes through, and that was an absolutely brutal setup. Khaldor didn't even have to use Horrify, he just sat there and was like, well, I guess we kill it without it? That's fine. It was actually impressive to see that they got that kill before the Ancestral came through. If you look at that again, even in slow motion, it really feels that that Ancestral should have hit, and it's just the smallest of margin by which it didn't connect. Now there is a 5-man defense happening, but the fort in the middle is of course already gone, and the top side is also looking a bit more problematic because that shaman is still there and is not getting attacked by anything just now. They're burning the Punisher down, but it's 6 kills against 2. Fallen there with the aggressive barrel. If you think about it, there's the double, there's the gust, they're trying to go for the damage. Zadoon gets wrecked. He's down, and that's at least 1 kill. Urel could jump away. But there's another hook. Jump, bunny, jump. There's the Horrify that we didn't see earlier. But already the Puric Bile on the ground, and the fight isn't quite over yet. But Toxic is low. The Ancestral this time comes in. Urel jumps into. That might have been the last thing she does here, because she gets dropped. So does Jaina. 2-for-1 trade. Guru barely dodges out on half of the damage and is able to survive. Stalk low. So is Kolya Martian. It is still a 4 versus 3 on the map here. And Toxic is moving away. A good attack still. Never count the Russians out. More than one team has learned that lesson. Whenever they seem like they are vulnerable, they all of a sudden turn it around and start to take kills. So they make this a positive trade at least. But you look at the map and you can of course tell that Nothing Left has a massive lead still, thanks to them running down all 3 forts here. The bottom of the map, Farlander still farming. He's currently sitting at 38 stacks, so as he is about to complete his level 1, he will get the activatable. It's going to be a big deal for him in those team fights whenever he gets a good position to get those shots woven in against, well, not only Jojo, but also obviously Urel. And then he can stack that damage even more, so the on-target damage is going to become a lot more for him. 38,000 at this point for Jaina. Getting chased away from the bottom again. These long-distance hooks. It's always fun when you have that fishing hook coming in from Stitches. It's just such a scare. Every time you play against the Stitches after level 16, you're just sitting there and you just wait for that hook to just appear out of nowhere and absolutely destroy you. And Stalk is not quite getting this one, but you can tell that everybody is trying to position around minions so that they're not getting put into a problem here. It's all about the level 20 for the next shrine now, trying to fight on eye level again. And also, that's a good move too. Yep, Leo might even die for this, to be honest with you. Getting that fountain, I honestly think that's totally worth it. Yeah, he knows that he's most likely going to die. But taking the fountain down, that was a big one. And yeah, they're ganking him, they're taking him down. But again, hashtag worth it. You take that fountain down and you take the opportunity of your opponent away to go from the last and final shrine and tap this one. 28 seconds. By that time, he's back or nearly going to be back. So that was still a win for them. It's level 20 right now against 19. With that, we're going to see a very... should just work out. Fawcett is trying to get the experience in the middle. Get another turret here. Moves down to the bottom. Leoric is giving them the vision that they need so that they know that they're still safe here. Getting the camp storm, of course, is a bit of an issue, but it's all about getting the level 20 now. So, and they're closer. They're closing in on it. Farland is taking the one in the middle. They need one more wave, pretty much. Leo is the one who is going to deal with the catapults and also with the shaman. But we have Phoenix already in the point. This is getting close, though. This is getting really close. A little bit too close for comfort, if you ask me. I don't think they're really happy with this at this point. They have to go in. They get the hook, though. But Podibos is jumping out. Level 20. They're still waiting for it. It's so close. And there it is. They get the 20. Here's the Buried Alive. 20 already on the lead. Good Buried Alive, and they can use it, but he misses it. Farlander with a wind tunnel. He actually gets saved too. Looked like he would die for sure, but they actually save him here. 44 stacks now on the bird. Yeah, but the Entomb completely whiffing here. Massive problem. Water Elemental isn't out yet. Entomb could be back in this fight, by the way. This is going to be a long one. It's going to be back in 25 seconds. So, once again, starting to go straight for the fight here. Starting to go for the engage. Blessed Shield is ready. Haunt is ready. You get both. 15 seconds for Leo. Ancestral is there too. Black Kidney gets murdered. Actually didn't even proc the 20, I think. I think they just kept him alive here. Did the 20 actually proc the Unconquered Spirit? I'm not sure. It might have. I think it did. And now they're going for Podibos. Podibos! He actually went for the bubble heart. He halves back, but that fight isn't over. Urel is out. It's a 5 versus 4 for now. Gul'dan goes down. So does Toxic. Toxic is dead as well. They're moving back again. Look how low everybody is here. Mana is also starting to become a bit of an issue. But they are still fighting here. They are still fighting. I don't think I've ever seen Bubble Heart in a game on that level. I don't think I've ever seen that. So Urel actually escapes with the help of it. And to make matters worse for Team Russia, it is an Arcane Punisher again. That top keep is gone. That top keep is absolutely gone. To be honest, when I saw Bubble Heart activated, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? I didn't even realize what was happening until a second or two later. And look at this, was like, wait, what's that? Look at this. He actually went bubble heart. So yeah, Toxic is back. Has the buried alive, by the way. He has it. Can they get... No, he misses it. But Jojo walks into it. Oh, it isolates Boss, and this time he dies. That was the most awkward Entomb setup I've ever seen. He tries to catch Urel. Doesn't catch Urel. She dodges the Entomb. Then Johanna walks into it. Fawcett says, okay, we got this. Starts to gust. The gust hits everyone else. The problem is that Urel doesn't get gusted away either, because she's still in position. And all of a sudden, Urel gets dropped instead of Johanna. The most awkward setup ever. But we still have the keeps. The keep is still there. Guys, I would have bet money, and quite a bit of that keep falls. You have a 20-20 push coming in with an Arcane Punisher at 19 minutes in the game, and the keep is barely scratched. That's crazy. That's honestly crazy. The Russians are getting some value. Look at the bird, by the way. The bird is currently on 58 stacks. And there's the buried alive. They're going for it again. It's a small cooldown, so they're getting it for extra damage, and also to force a couple of cooldowns on the other side. Oh, the wind tunnel into the corner. Where's the Ring of Frost when you need it? Oh, screw the water elemental, but there's the damage. It's a double, it's a triple, it's a quad kill. The wind tunnel value. Farlander with the plays. That's the moment when you want Ring, but even without it, they're able to get the kills. Boss is going straight for the ult again. No bubble heart right now, and of course they're walking still past this. And obviously they're going to try and end. It's the Russians. They're always trying to end. Always. You go face, you go core. And they are actually about to make it. They were bodied half the game, and now once more they're looking to finish. The Russian team, it's always the same with them. They are going for the victory in game number 1. Team Russia taking the lead in the best of 5 against nothing left at Meta Madness. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Team Russia against nothing left on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's going to be a hype one. The crazy Russians, they did it again. They once more turned the game around that they should have lost, or at least they should have fallen a lot more behind. Alarak gets banned right away. No hesitation whatsoever from nothing left. Banning out Alarak here against the Russian team. Now again, this is game number 2, so as we enter the draft, 17 heroes are already pre-banned. After this one, it will be 23. Urel gets taken out. We've actually seen that happen a lot more. I actually think that today we might see some special strategies coming in from the ban perspective too. Yesterday, for a lot of teams, it was just like, you know, dipping their toes a little bit into the Meta Madness rules, seeing how they could play this. I wouldn't put it past any of the teams to come out with something later on where they say, okay, we have something specific planned for like a 3rd or 4th or 5th map or so. But let's see how the early bans are going. So first of all, we have Alarak banned, we have Urel banned, Medivh gets taken out. It's pretty much the trend that we've seen in a lot of these games, that Medivh around the 2nd, 3rd map gets eliminated. Especially on Volskaya, he got eliminated a lot. There's the Jaina ban, also pretty common right now to take her out. She's just too flexible in this. And the Malfurion early pick again for nothing left. Pick it away from the Russians. Let them play Rhaegar. Which is what we're seeing most of the time. I mean, again, there's a couple of other options that you can still go for too. We have White Mane around. We've seen some adjustments. We had a game with Brightwing. Yes, exactly. We had one Brightwing game. I don't think we've seen Morales yet, to be honest. Oh, Shell Swiffer. Janitor Leoric. And Junkrat. Personally, I would expect Junkrat to be banned out in Game 3. That's oftentimes when you see the Junkrat ban coming in. First, you get rid of Jaina. You can think about getting rid of Liming, for example. And at some point, we're seeing Junkrat play. Gul'dan makes it in again. So does Johanna. So a lot of wave clears also available for the team in red. Keep in mind that there's of course also the poke that you need. You have Malfurion with the Moonfire, you have the Flashlight on Johanna with the Shield Glare, Gul'dan can poke with the Echoed Corruption, Junkrat can throw the grenades. You're trying to just make sure that your opponent doesn't get the turn in. The more you can poke from the outside, the longer you can delay it, and the bigger your chances to actually have an impact there. Malthael banned out on the off lane as well. I'm going to note that down in our little sheet here too. Players are using the exact same sheet to keep track of which hero are still allowed for the picking. And what are you going to see in the bans? Could target the front line again. They have their own support already. Muradin on the map isn't really too bad. Huh? Muradin gets banned. Exactly. Given the heroes that are already eliminated, Muradin is definitely a good choice here. So we have that. Let's see. Double pick coming in now for the Russians. So they still need damage. I could still see them maybe even with a Liming being picked, but also Stork needs to have that frontliner. Imperius got banned right now, right? And Stitches again, second time in a row. Pretty similar combo. Look at this. Leo, Stitches, and Rhaegar, the same baseline setup I had before. Thrall and Phoenix make it in too. Yeah, definitely reminiscent combos of the last match, of the last map that the two of them played. And the last pick for Farlander. It's not going to be the bird. There's no way they're going to go for the bird again. What role is he going to play? If they want to go for a mage, Li Ming is still up. She didn't get banned, right? Like, I'm not crazy. Ah, Kel'Thas, nice. I like it. Getting Kel'Thas in here. Alright, we get a little bit of fire damage into our game as well. Some heroes just want to see the world burn. Kel'Thas is one of them. A lot of fire Ragnaros hasn't been seen yet here. Anyways, game number 2 coming up. Let's jump in, ladies and gentlemen. Team Russia versus nothing left. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. We are heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen. Kel'Thas is getting played by Farlander for the Russian team. Banabir on Junkrat. We're seeing Stork on Stitches. Toxic on Leoric. Kolya Martian on Rhaegar. And on the right side of the team, nothing left with Portibos on Thrall, Blakitni on Phoenix, Zadoon on Johanna. We're currently having Malfurion, played by Linked again, and Gul'dan, played by Guru. I definitely hope they have something left here, even if it's only hope, because after the last game, they're gonna need to dig deep to make sure that they're winning one here. Right now, we're seeing them already on moving straight in the middle for our little beginning brawl. Stork, of course, waiting for that money hook as Toxic goes for the tactical pause right away. Perfect timing for him. The grenade is just making its way over to Portibos. Portibos, of course, doesn't really know how to react right now. He's still on the happy cloud. We don't know how happy he's going to be, as that cloud might disappear quickly if that grenade connects, and it doesn't. Portibos keeping it together here. It was a tough moment for him, but the cloud is still happy, and they're able to move away from him. The fight, on the other hand, is still breaking through. The root on the ground, and Toxic nearly dying there. It was a close call, actually. It could have been the first one to fall. Has to already, of course, tap the fountain, riding down to the bot lane on the majestic golden cock that he calls his mount. Toxic himself still swiffing around. This is like the standoff that you oftentimes have between the offlaners that is currently happening here. Obviously, you're also going to try and delay your opponent's stacking progress, if it is a Thrall, on the echo of elements that we're seeing here. Kel'Thas is heading into the standard talent on level 1 with the Mana Addict. What? Leo dies as the gank is hitting him. Okay, Blakitni is moving in there. Trade value activated early on in the game. Toxic already feeling that out a little bit. And saying like, boys, I got this. My trade is getting value. We're there. Then still gets a bit of the experience, but of course that's a few gems lost. To be fair, it's early on in the game. You kind of got one wave, so even if you got all of the gems there, you didn't lose too much yet. The kill is, as it happens, not really impactful. This could be very impactful though. Camps are taken on both sides, but that little rotation oftentimes gets caught out very, very quickly. But they're a bit late to the party here, because with the help of Rhaegar and his lightning shield, that camp is secured. So well done by the Russian team here. And with that, they might be able to get that push through the bottom of the map to maybe break through the wall itself too. We'll have to wait for that. At the top lane, Banabir still sitting there. Both of the teams now on level 4. In this case, it gives us the Netherwind for Khaldor. Still a bit of a battle at the bottom of the map, whereas Nothing Left is trying to defend against this. The hooks us there, and Blickidney nearly dies. But of course, Stork also, every time when it happens, takes a bit of a beating at that front line. Currently sitting with his Hungry for more. Movement speed increase, and at the same time the max health increase obviously as well. So this is a pretty sick talent for a map like Tomb of the Spider Queen, because you get so many globes here, not only through those siege camps and bruiser camps, but obviously when you rotate between the two lanes you can get a lot there as well. So as the game continues, if it happens to be one of those where we end up with 30 minutes on the clock, we could see Stitches with an absolutely insane amount of stacks there, and that of course in an equally high hit point pool. It is pretty impressive what you can end up with. I mean, if you think about it, 3 give you roughly 100, so it's going to be... I mean, he's currently sitting at 10, alright? So he's sitting at 10, it's 300 hit points already that he gets through that. 3 minutes and 10 seconds in, Echo of Elements is completed. Tops out, we see Junkrat and Phoenix fighting it up at the top. And down here, the hook connects against Guru, and he has a big problem at his hands right now. That's not the hero that you want to get hooked. But Guru is able to move away here. There was no lockdown available. Junkrat wasn't here either. If you get a good hook in, and then someone has a slow poke as Guru, and it's Gul'dan, and then you can simply mine him back into the team. But yeah, Stork, again, we're going to keep a bit of an eye on him, because his hit point pool should be fairly solid here. That's a lot of damage on Podibos too. Gotta admit that Falendar and Khaldor is doing fairly well here. Really good follow-ups the entire time. They're trying to turn in. 24 against 21 gems have been delivered so far. Now Leo's moving out here. Blickidney is eating the damage. Where is he actually sitting at right now? Only 4,000 damage for Khaldor? That feels to me like a lot more. I mean, he just bodied 2 heroes pretty heavily with those follow-ups that we saw there. And then, of course, Leoric got a lot of drains through. Thrall is sitting at 13,000, getting the hits in, and also the entire poke with the chain lightning. Nice interrupt here. We talked about this earlier, and Banabir actually dies. Banabir goes down, the gems are still recovered and not lost. That's exactly what we talked about earlier. 3 heroes trying to turn in, and then you see a quick flashlight with the blessed shield. Shield Glare. And that's all that you need to delay this a little bit further, and the kill comes in. 2 kills against 0. It reminds me a little bit of game number 1. Where we had nothing left with the lead. But they get the red whip previous now. So the idea obviously is get as much value as you can from the first turn in, and then secure a second to break through the forts themselves. Normally with turn in number 1, you see the walls and the turrets fall. Some of them. In a really good setup, if you can get a quick kill as the web weavers come down, you sometimes have an entire fort destroyed, but that's definitely not the norm in the setup here. So Stork at this point. So also be careful. I mean, he only has 18 gems, but still, it's 18. There's no risk of your opponent running level 10 during this, but the wave there isn't really there. Junkrat, of course, has it. There's also Kolya Martian with his lightning shield, and he's already putting it to some good use. But 1 turret should be falling. Yes, 1 goes down. That's the defense completed, though. Banabir at the top, still not completely done. Blickidney is already starting to move in. Yeah, pushes him away. Bottom of the map. Leo, in the meantime, loses a turret as well. So pretty much what we talked about. Entire wall is falling. In the mid lane, we have a bit of it destroyed. And at the top lane, we're looking at the same picture. Slight lead in experience now as a result for the red team. But it's turn in number 2 that really starts to become a bit worrisome when all of this is taken down. So you have to keep your eyes out on that. They don't have the gems for it yet, but look at the gem count that we're seeing for the team in blue. Team Russia, they have enough. And now they're making a rotation to Podibos, and yep, Thrall is very far out. Hook, nicely dodged, and the rest of the team is there. They're invading against Khaldor. Good move with the immediate with the immediate cleanse from Rhaegar. So he gets that. That looked like it should have been a dead Thrall, but he just walks out. The rest of the team rotates in, and they can't really go too deep for this. Stork, by the way, has now 19 stacks, which means he's pretty much sitting at 600 additional hit points for his hero. So he's definitely getting up there with the hit point numbers. I honestly wonder how far up he can get with this. I mean, he's getting another one right now as we speak and completing the 20. So yeah, at this point. And the movement speed bonus is, of course, nice as well. But of course, that one's capped. But there we're seeing also, again, the Bruiser can't take in both of them. And with the heroic abilities in, we have, again, Putrid Bile. So, especially this time when you don't have False Start around, Putrid Bile is, of course, much more attractive to you. If you have Gorge and Gust, then you can use that as a combo. If you feel isolation kills is what wins you the game there. But at this point, it's just interrupts, interrupts, and interrupts. See the same thing up at the top. Barnaby, of course, has to be careful with the low hit point pool. If he doesn't see a rotation coming and the Blessed Shield connects, he's likely to fall. 20 is 2 stacks by now, 4 Stalk. He will be hard to kill later on. But those hits that are coming from Boss, they do work. The constant Siege Giants that are being dropped, on the other hand, are really doing a number on the bot lane. Barnaby again is low. Oh, and only Stalk is being hit by Blakidney's ult as he's trying to connect it with Leoric. But now we're having Khaldor starting to take the damage numbers. Thrall, with a constant poke that we see through the chain lighting, is still leading the charts, and Gul'dan is following shortly after with 21,000. But the 15k for Khaldor is pretty much indicating that he's starting to ramp up those numbers himself. Going into Phoenix over the Pyroblast that we've seen a few times here. And it's still the battle for the second turn-in. Oh, that was a great follow-up. Blakidney actually gets away. There's the cleanse. Yeah, scratch that. Riptire comes through, and Zadoon is gonna die too. They get the double kill, and they relieve them of all of the gems that they had, and those were quite a couple. So now we're seeing another attempted turn-in with 100 gems in their hands. Team Russia, they want the double turn-in. They get linked as well. Damn, that game turned quickly. From 0 kills to 3, and now they have the momentum on the map, and of course, why am I even surprised? Russians, they straight go for the boss. Turn-in? We're talking about turn-in. Let's go, boss. Question is still, is that going to be the best idea for them? There's still a Horrify around. Yeah, they're trying to make the play for... Ooh, that Ancestral was a little bit early, if you ask me. Now, Stalk doesn't have that. Okay, here's the Horrify. They go for boss, and Stalk is about to fall, and they might actually lose this now. Stalk is down. There's the second kill as Rhaegar dies. Khaldor dies too, and there is another kill. All 5 are wiped. That's 100 gems gone. The Russians, they like to be aggressive. It works out quite a lot. In this case, it didn't. Without their support, just with the Horrify and everything else, we are seeing nothing left coming in. And not only did they take the boss, not only did they kill 5 heroes, they just stole 100 gems away. 100 gems. If you've ever seen a more incredible boss steal, then I think you're lying. I certainly haven't. I've seen crazy fights over these bosses, but that, you can't lose more than that on a boss. You lose the boss, you lose 100 gems, and you lose 5 heroes. That's pretty incredible. And now the Russians are exactly where they want to be. They're behind. Alright, maybe not that quite the case, but I wouldn't count them out yet. Obviously, it was a massive blow, though. At this point, nothing left should definitely be able to get massively ahead even more. But I'm not counting them out any longer. I fell into that trap too many times. By all means, they should lose the game now, but let's wait this out. Here comes the Ancestral, saving Leoric, but they're going for the fight again. And they might get the kill against Polypos. And yes, they do. Thrall is down. Toxic still slowing everybody in the backline. He himself falls. As we're having Team Russia scramble to get a couple of additional gems together so that they can finally get their first turn in. It's still a 4 versus 4 battle that we're seeing here. Damage numbers are coming out. The 16, on the other hand, is so close for nothing left that there's not a lot of time for Team Russia to force that fight anymore. There's a good hook coming against Zadoon. Doesn't seem to have... There's the Iron Skin. That's the Iron Skin cooldown back and walks out. Toxic. 5 seconds on the Entomb. You don't even have enough gems to turn in. And again, you're looking over there to Blakidney and his boys. They only need 4 more turned in so that they can get another turn in by themselves. They've eliminated 2 forts now. 2 forts are down to increase their passive experience. Stalk is shortly going to look at 900 extra HP. on Stitches. Stitches is currently sitting at 6,140 HP. Can take a quick look at Johanna. Johanna is at 5,000. Keep in mind, she's also an entire level ahead right now. Red Web Weavers are coming down, and hit point harvested Stitches is going to continue to get those hit points together. The longer the game lasts, the better for Stitches at this point. 6,380 right now. 29. Alright, he's a monster. He's an absolute beast. But still, yeah, so far behind. Web Weavers are coming in. Mercenary cams are pushing through. And how do you break through that? Level 16 on your opponent's side. Look at this insane setup in the middle. They're breaking through that wall as if it's made out of paper. Starting to always go in there. In the meantime, we at least have Banapia at the top trying to make sure that this one is not going to go straight for the keep again. Phoenix is of course out now too. They're losing the wall. I don't think they're going to lose the keep just yet, but it is dicey. And if there's a kill, then they can definitely go for keep. And it looks like, yeah, Leo is going to fall. No! Toxic gets saved? Oh, maybe not! Oh, he gets the shield. Nice! Even the salvo can't drop him. Spooky, spooky Leoric. 16 is ready. We have it now. That means we have Ignite for Khaldor. And we also have the fishing hook. Two big ones. Cubic Bile is being used as they're actually looking for a hook and a kill setup, but they don't get the hook in, and that of course shuts that aggression down very quickly. Bottom of the map, another push coming in, another one breaking through the wall here. It's even talents at least. The Entomb is still there for them. Stock is looking for that hook once more. It's a long one, was hoping for someone to anchor the play at the side, but that's not the case. They got at least the amount of gems that they need for a turn-in now. So at least they have that. At least have that for themselves. The map belongs at this point to nothing left. The map belongs to nothing left, but with a good turn-in, you can definitely start to try and turn this around here. Also, we have a boss up in 20 seconds again. Just saying, just saying. I'm not making any recommendations or anything here. Not after what we've seen earlier, but I just want to point it out that it's starting to become an option again. 4 kills against 8. Can they turn in? Trying to. Stock is there. Pody Boss too, though. Chain Lightning is stopping that quickly. I mean, again, you have to try and turn in right now. It's actually incredible that they're only a level behind, if you think about it. But can they get the kill? Nice Iron Skin. Gravity Labs gets dodged, and Farlander, the Ancestral, keeps him alive. And Blickidney dodges the hook too. He knew it was coming. But that was a very, very close call here for Phoenix. Stock, on the other hand, he's just thinking about, okay, where do I go? Left, right, left. I need to go somewhere. And Tomb is catching too. Here comes the Horrify. That fight isn't over yet, but Blickidney is low, and he might be over with. Barely warps out. Rest of the team is starting to drop in HP. Stock still being attacked. That guy has 7,000 hit points by now. And there's the damage from Khaldor. Good healing ward on the ground now too. Toxic again, ghosting in. Dropping the damage numbers, and even with the Chain Lightning, Pody Boss is not able to do anything just yet, but he gets the Wolf connected with Stalk, and that was the important one. By the way, we see Thunderstorm taken. No Alpha Wolf against Stalk with 7,000 HP. We don't have Alpha Wolf at this point. And they're trying to get the setup here. With an Entomb? No. 5 seconds are needed. Oh, these hooks! Boah. But that should be a turn-in. But it's also a boss call. And this one is a little bit better. This boss call is a little bit better. There's no way to make that rotation in time. Yeah, boss is going to be taken. It's going to be a trade. Boss for Web Weavers. And in the middle they need to take care of their keep too, because that one is starting to get dropped as well. So now we have once again, in terms of damage, 45,000 against 55. Russians are again behind. It's their comfort zone. We're going to trade the boss here for it. That Phoenix could have been a little bit better, I feel. I think it would have been very nice here. So I'm questioning that Phoenix placement. But there's the attack against Leoric as he's trying to move out. Barnaby also needs to be careful. It's a hit point pool on Junkrat. If there's nobody else with you, you need to be cautious with this. Okay, they're starting to make the play. They're starting to look for the hook. Trying to get it here. Stalk. Oh, nice, nice! Blakidney gets absolutely wrecked. And Leo, he might fall, but the Ancestral saves him as he starts to go in again. Zadoon is already low. That was a fantastic play by Junkrat. Really well done here. Absolutely amazing by Banabia. He pretty much delivered them that kill on a silver platter. Well done. Level 20 is so close for nothing left, though. It is incredibly close at this point. Level 20 talents once they're in. Can they get another turn in? Do they have enough gems? I don't think they have enough, do they? How many do they have? Like 40 maybe? Oh, but even if they can take a couple of these fountains down, at least it would already be a win. If they can drop a few of those forts, that is another big, big drop in the bucket. But yep, 51. They have 51 gems. They nearly got another turn in. They nearly have another turn in here. Phoenix is down for another 6 seconds. They might actually be able to pull this off. Now they're sitting at 54. And, yep, if they can deliver all of that, that would be a huge step towards it. Already the bot lane rotation. Yeah, Banabia is trying to make sure that they're getting a bit more out of it, but there's the interrupts, of course. With Phoenix back on the map, they want to fight, and they have level 20 talents now. Level 20 is just too scary. With 41 gems in the hands of nothing left, you can still delay this a little bit and just say, okay, boys, just sit tight. Stitches, by the way, still stacking up on those globes. Currently at 44. To about 43, by the way, for Khaldor. Yep, that mana pool and that shield looking really solid at this point. Again, Vanapi at the top lane. It's all about experience right now. You want to have level 20 and you don't want to fight. Level 20, don't fight. Look at Stitch's hit point pool now. 7,700. Nearly 7,800. He is so difficult to kill. Let's take a look at Johanna. Johanna is sitting at 5,900. It's a pity party that Johanna is showing there. And again, she has a couple of other tools that Stitches doesn't have. So yeah, level 20 any second, but the mid lane keep is gonna fall. Yeah, it's a good move by nothing left. It's really well done by them. Just before the 20 drops, they're making their play. And Stitches now going into the shambling horror here. Okay, massive hits coming from Banabia, by the way. Dude, calm down. Look at Blakidney. Blakidney, oh, the buried alive. He procs the 20. The 20 is procced and he's in trouble. The slows are coming through. The Putrid Bile is in. And there's the Riptire and the double kill. Gul'dan and Phoenix are both dead and now they're going in. Absolutely fantastic game by Banabia here. Zadoon is gonna fall. Boss is gonna die. I told you, the Russians are behind and that's exactly where they want to be. That's exactly where they want to be in the game. And again they turn it around. Again they are able to turn the game. 20 minutes in and they get a quad kill. They are like Nazebo. The whole team is like Nazebo. The game gets to 20 and they're going to wreck your face. They go top lane again and it's honestly just nuts. Strategy against this team, kill them before they hit 20. Hit them where it hurts and hit them fast. Hit them fast and hit them low, because if you don't, they are going to murder you. Every single fort is falling. And the Russians are once again carrying the momentum here. 3 forts eliminated. They are heading experience. They're moving through the middle. They're moving through the bottom. They're attacking the top lane. They are everywhere. And especially the setup with Khaldor and Junkrat is destroying in those fights. They're just wrecking the keep. It's even. The game's even at this point. There comes Phoenix. Blakidney, that might be a little bit too much. Once again, the Buried Alive misses though, but the Ancestral doesn't. That could still be a kill against Farlander. And they're trying to get the counter kill. Farlander about to fall. Blakidney! No way! Blakidney actually gets away. Yeah, great game by him. But look at the top lane. That's another keep fall. Look at the bottom of the map. All 3 keeps are down. They have to win it now. Win it now or lose the game. Win it now or lose the game unless the Russians make a boss call. That's pretty much what's happening now. 9 kills against 9. The core is getting attacked. They only killed 1. That's not enough. That's simply not enough. They killed every single keep with this. The boss is on the map. They have 28 seconds until Khaldor is back. If they take the boss, can they end? I mean, they have to try. That boss call is telegraphed. They send an email to Team Russia, they called them via phone, they sent them a letter, for crying out loud. They had a billboard somewhere, we're gonna go boss now. But it's the only play they have, they don't have another play. It's the one they have to make. There's the damage reduction, they're going in, 5 versus 4. There's Khaldor coming back, buried alive, and the stagger death. No stagger death, Toxic. Ooh. Toxic gets away. No stagger death. Toxic actually moves away. Core's at 93% right now. Catapults are starting to move through the bot lane. And they need to end now. They know that too. They can't play the long game. Especially with Stitches. I mean, look at the hit point pool. He's sitting at 8,700 hit points right now. If that game continues for another 5-6 minutes, he's going to be absolutely unkillable. Stalk is already a tank that can simply walk into fight. Kidney is low and has to warp out. Look at Link. He has no hit points left either. That boss hurts though. And they're trying to end the game here. Thrall already with the Earthen Shield right behind them. Yeah. And there we go. Keep is down. Boss is on half HP. They're poking. The hook comes in. Thrall. The gravity lapse is there and they're trying again. Toxic with a buried alive against Khaldor. But the boss is on the core. This is the moment. This is when nothing left wants to win the game. Kidney. He procs the 20. They go for the core and they actually pull it off. GG as nothing left takes the game. They win Tomb of the Spider Queen. Alright everybody, game number 3, Sky Temple, is coming up next, and we have an awesome series in our hands. We have 4 maps guaranteed by now, and I personally can't wait to see what's happening here. I hope it's a 5-mapper. I really hope we get 5 maps between these two. Game 1 and 2 were awesome, I want more of it. Nothing left in Russia are insane, especially the Russians. The Russians were always crazy, but right now they are just going beyond everything that we experienced before. Gul'dan gets banned, Arthas gets banned as well. Quick bans coming in from the two here. And at this point, we're also starting to limit that hero pool at the front line again. Stork seems to be really happy to just go for his Stitches whenever he's guaranteed to get a lot of these globes. I mean, he ended up with nearly 9,000, even more hit points on the last map. Stitches is just starting to become a late game monster on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's honestly brutal. Here we have the Illidan ban. No Illidan for this one, so no pseudo-global here either. And we have the bird talking about globals. Another one banned out. Dehaka is still available, by the way, so they could still play with Dehaka, but here on Sky Temple, I honestly just want to see something a little bit nuts. At some point, those Vikings coming back in or something along those lines. What else are we going to see with this? With Gul'dan banned, there's obviously no Horrify for the boss control. Tyrael is still up, so Tyrael could be picked later on too. Yeah, and there's Dehaka. We just talked about him as the global on the map. Dehaka is up and he's picked first. That leaves us also with a fair amount of supports that are still available. That Malfurion is still ready, so if you want to take it away from Kolya Martian, this is your chance. It's what Linked has done in the previous games over and over again. They haven't targeted Rhaegar in any of the bans yet. To limit that support pool even more. There's Tyrael, yep. Control on the boss, gonna be super important. And Malfurion, nice, I like it. Good setup, good thinking. You have the Sanctification for the boss fight that you oftentimes see. You have the shields from Tyrael. You can still combo it off with Blaze if you want to. Blaze is still available. Yrel got banned. Yrel got actually banned. Yrel is one of the bans. There's Rhaegar.
Fight to my last breath.
Yeah, believe me, you will. And Phoenix again. Rhaegar and Phoenix, but we have Dehaka now. And the Tyrael setup. Are they going to go for Sanctification plus Bunker? That's the next question here. But well, let's look at the bans now. Game number 3. 4, 3, 5. That's where things usually start to become a little bit interesting. But so far we've actually seen really nice Stitches games in particular. And of course also Khaldor. There's the Greymane ban. Another good one. We had a lot of those pokes. Malthael has been banned, so you can't even rely on that Greymane combo that we've seen a few times now by trying to Curse Bullet and then follow up with a bit of added damage before you drop with Last Rites the target and add those stacks to Malthael's heroic. Alright. And Thrall. Nice. So they have to actually switch out the off lane a little bit for now too. Okay, we're getting there. 5 picks left. Let's see if someone goes a little bit wild. I mean, this is the map where we actually had also a bit of a crazy setup yesterday when Lauber played Diva. Was it yesterday? Was it today? I can't even remember. But yeah, Lauber's Diva on this map was an interesting one. There's a Liming. I've already missed her. And look at that. Pody boss with ETC. So we get a side lane ETC that mirrors the Haka with stage dive. Bit of a throwback there. A side lane ETC plays again. We still need a tank for Stalk. Don't think that this time we're going to see Stitches again. Oh, well, could, but what else can he play still? I still have a couple available here. I'm not quite sure. Dude, Johanna is still up. Yeah, we saw her the entire time on the other side, so I didn't even account for her. Nothing left, has to face off against Sylvanas again, as we are seeing Farlander grab the hero. Yeah, if you lose a boss once more against the Russians, they're just gonna snowball it here. And the last pick. Lunara again! Alright, Lunara is coming in. We've seen her played by Washed Out a few times. Now we're having her in the hands of Nothing Left. Nice, I like it. Get them low with Lunara, get the AoE and the damage over time, and Liming as the finisher. Sky Temple, everybody. Let's jump in. Game number 3. Game number 3. Team Russia against Nothing Left on Sky Temple. And on the left side of the map, Stalk on Johanna this time, Kolya, Martian on Rhaegar, Toxic on the Haka, Farlander on Sylvanas, and Banabia on Phoenix. Polyboss on ETC, we're having Zadoon on Tyrael, Blakitni on Lunara, Linked on Malfurion, and Guru on Li Ming. Do we have Lunara with 100% win rate? No. They lost that game. I remember. They were massively ahead and then threw it with both hands out of the window. But Lunara in all of the games where she was played so far had actually a pretty big impact. I still want to point one thing out here, because I think this is going to be part of the discussion. A lot of you might probably look at some heroes that are usually not played, like Lunara, and say, you see, she's fantastic, she adds so much here. And it's true, she does. The problem is that a lot of the natural predators that she usually faces, for other heroes that are being played in this tournament, are eliminated through the bans. So it's not really a fair comparison to heroes that are being picked when you don't see 20 to 30 bans coming in those mid-games of the match. But Lunara here can definitely have that impact and poke. I mean, obviously, when you are playing a normal game, one of the things that she suffers from is survivability. And that's where Genji, Tracer, and other heroes are normally ripping her apart. But with those already banned out, all of a sudden, she is able to get a little bit of value again. And we had a time in the game when Lunara was actually played a lot. And with Splintered Spear, the damage that she can push out is honestly pretty serious in the big team fights with the AoE. And obviously also the on-point damage through Leaping Strike, or in addition to that, later on, if with Thornwood Vines. Russians are being aggressive again. The sky is, by the way, blue and water is wet. Big invade from them, taking down Malfurion and dropping Li Ming, stealing the camp away, and starting the game with, you guessed it, aggression. So once more, down to the bottom of the map, right there, trying to drop the turrets, and they are murdering that bot lane. Sylvanas is getting mad value here because Blakitni has to deal with those two in the back line, but already the fort is pretty much on half HP. They're losing the front too. It's just, I mean, it's the Russians. I love this team so much. They got completely obliterated in some of the Division S qualifiers and some other matches that they played, but it's just so much. Oh my god! Oh, it's so much fun to watch them and just see crazy calls to be made. Sometimes the aggression that they throw at you doesn't work out. We saw that with the boss fight on Tomb of the Spider Queen, but when it works, it does work a lot. So at this point, the Russians are actually a little bit out of their comfort zone. They are ahead. They lead by a level and with several kills, and they've taken a structural advantage on the map. This is not really where they want to be. This is them being a bit like a fish out of water right now. They love to be behind and then just simply go for the insane comeback. But yeah, memes aside, I'm pretty sure they're happy with how things are starting here. But let's see if they can also win the game itself. Getting the lead here, of course, would be fantastic for them. But now they've taken the bottom structure, and as we all know, one of the big things you want to do on this map, you want to make sure that you take structures without the help of the objective, because it gives you a massive lead. Farlander with a good dodge on the orb. Guru would have had a chance to even drop him here. We're still seeing only one temple activated, as Banabi and Kolya Martian on Phoenix Rhaegar are trying to get the camp here. And they're not making the play for the top side yet. Dehaka was first of all busy of eliminating the camp so that they get a bit more push power. But they're moving straight in the middle here. Dehaka coming in from behind. Phoenix is down. Good kill from nothing left. They're definitely not going to roll over here. And yeah, with this we're actually seeing nothing left starting to take a bit of an advantage in this particular temple phase. I mean, again, on a structural perspective, it doesn't quite measure up to what the Russians already did to the bot lane, but it's a start. It's an interesting strategy how Nothing Left approaches this. It's actually pretty smart if you think about it. They give Russia a lead in the game so that they can't come back into it. If they're not behind, they can't come back. Now you're thinking. It's next level strategies here. It's the IQ 200 plays from Nothing Left, and so far it's been working. 3 kills against 1. We're already seeing the top now focused on by the Russian team. Still a little bit ahead with this. But all of a sudden, we see that Lunara value coming through. Actually, that wasn't Lunara. That was still damage over time, but Lunara is currently at the bottom. That's probably why they're winning the fight here. It's Sylvanas that was able to deliver the DOT. Nice hit here. Guru actually connecting the two. Now that Lunara joins the fight, let's see how that goes. Dehaka is still getting some value in the mid lane, and of course delivers the experience into their hands, but could burrow in soon again. Should have the cooldown ready in a couple. Up at the top. Stark is eating a lot of that damage here now. And the mid lane still gets focused, and this is again a lead in experience for Team Russia. They're losing the walls, but they haven't lost a single one of their forts yet. Dehaka is already rotating again, trying to get even more. Lunara realizes that she needs to deal with all of this stuff eventually and starts moving in here. But if you look at the first temple phase being over, then the situation on the map is still as follows. We have some walls broken through, some towers eliminated on the Russian side, but nothing left is still behind in a structural point of view. The 4 versus 4, it's a 4 versus 3 actually that they're forced into, and that power slide was just a bit too late. They get the damage in against Kolya Martian, but Guru is also starting to get a bit dropped here. Eats the damage. Lunara is going for the experienced bot lane, but of course that early level 10 for Russia is going to allow them to maybe even drop another fort here. They're nearly an entire level behind. If they are aggressive with Sylvanas, they should be able to eliminate at least the tower and the wall. And in the best case scenario, another fort. ETC on level 7, obviously going for stage dive. Had to, because you are going to mirror Dehaka on the offlane. He's not the main tank in this case. It's going to be the offlane tank, so you need that. They're not going for boss. They could have totally seen that happen again. But apparently after the last game, they're not making that play. They're just stealing the siege giants once more. I still expected them to try and use the level 10 to get a quick drop against the structures here, at least in the middle. But they're not doing that at all. Yeah, of course. Instead, they're going for the keep. My bad. I apologize. That was silly of me. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Instead, they go keep, and they go Lunara. Oh, blink hit me. Gets the shield there from Zadoon, but that was nearly a kill against Bambi. Nearly made the kids cry again. Well, for now, that's the big push bot lane. ETC stage dives in, slides. The Ancestral keeps Farlander in the game. And here comes the quick sanctification from Tyrael. They're getting Sylvanas, and they're trying for more. Nice wave of force from Li Ming again, as they're making the play for Stark. He sacrifices himself for a good cause, but it looks like Dehaka is also not going to be able to tunnel his way out of this one. Doesn't have the cooldown ready or anything. Those siege giants, by the way, are still doing damage, but Dehaka is down. And the siege giants are now starting to deliver the points onto the keep at the bottom of the map. But of course, it's not going to take that down just yet. Or is it? Well, they're going for boss instead, not really worried about the bot lane. Sylvanas is already back to business, as we have the temple at the bottom also activated. They're taking a lot of damage on this, by the way, and I think this wave is also going to fall. They are losing a lot of HP there, but they get the boss. 7 minutes and 50 seconds in with 4 kills against 3. Nothing left has put themselves back onto the board for sure. ETC is now finally at the bottom of the map after he came back and started to take that down. Boss at the bot lane. What else are they going to do here? They're actually not going for the temple. They're delaying this a lot, that objective. Seems to me like they're totally willing to give it up too, because right now they're just dealing with their own bruiser camp. They have to deal with the Haka, who's burrowing in on the top side, together with the camp here. Yeah, boss is being dealt with at the bottom of the map. This is an early boss. I mean, the 8 minutes in, that boss is not going to pack a punch. He's still going to deliver a few hits to the structures here at the front and take some of those turrets down. But it's not like that boss can already make the big plays here. But now the temple is taken. That, of course, means shots fired into the middle of the map. Stork is trying to slow them down so that there's no rotation to the bottom, so that they get a safe temple, and that's exactly what happens, and that means that another fort is going to be eliminated. Yep, they're going to get this. As long as they're not forced off now, they're going to get it. There's a level 13, that's a big advantage for nothing left. So Barnabier moves away, and just 1 hit shy from taking it down. I would be shocked if they're not going in to deliver the blow manually, but still, that was a just-in-time move from nothing left. They forced them off the temple. He has a level 13 talents now. We're still seeing the play for ETC maybe. Billy Kidney. Body blocks are there, and the poke, of course. I'm seeing the Blessed Shield, not used yet, but it's there. Up for the taking. ETC slides. Drag doesn't connect from the Haka. And there it is, the poke with a level 10 from the Thornwood Vines. Ooh. ETC, oh, there could be a kill, and it is before the Ancestral comes through. The second he sees the stage dive, he's trying to Ancestral. Now he's on a mini cooldown, and Kolya Martian is gonna fall too. That's a bad moment. If you're trying to Ancestral Phoenix, you barely miss out on it, and then you're on a 10-second cooldown and can't even Ancestral yourself to get out of harm's way. All of a sudden, the top fort is soon falling. Maybe falling, it could fall, and it does fall. So 1 down. They are ahead. Nothing left is actually ahead right now. They took that massive, massive blow to the knee and lost the early fort in the game. But they're ahead. They're taking fort number 1. They're taking fort number 2. They have the one at the bottom of the map low. This series is beautiful. This series is absolutely beautiful. It's all over the place. We see comeback after comeback, we see weird invade after weird invade, the entire time aggression from all sides, and it is absolutely a pleasure to see this. There's a lot of fun here. I mean, these guys are just going for it the entire time. 6 versus 3 kills, level ahead now for the team in red. But the Russians, they're still pushing. They're still looking for that kill. Let's take a quick look at the damage too, of course. Let's have a quick look at especially Lunara here. Lunara is currently sitting at, well, 23,000. Isn't too bad. We look over to the opponent's team. Nobody is really delivering a punch there. Phoenix with 10k. 14 for Sylvanas. But you can play a macro game with this, obviously. You still have the global. You still have Sylvanas for the push. But right now, there's only one team that takes structures, and that's nothing left. At this moment, they are the ones who just deliver one punch after another. And with them obliterating another wave, they're actually moving straight over to the keep. I've seen this movie before. Ignoring the rest of the map and just going for structures. That was exactly what the Russians did earlier. Now we're seeing it from nothing left. We're saying, like, you know what? I actually like that. Can make that play ourselves. Start to poke things down again. But of course that also means that you're giving up the top temple where the Haka is currently busy getting the shots fired against the fort, and the fort falls. But there's a bottom temple to consider too. This is exactly where nothing left is headed right now. Level 16 talents give them also an advantage. With that we have Mirror Ball in. But it's starting to become a little bit awkward here, because 16 of course is needed for Russia to make a move. But that bot lane is starting to suffer. They might be able to drop the keep. There's a lot of shots fired. That's a keep. That's keep right there. Top lane has also at least broken through the wall at the top side keep. There's a 5-man push currently with Sylvanas. They can make the play for it, and they're actually trying to do exactly that. Zadoon might have to retreat. He might have to retreat before they get the keep. It's going to be close. But they're not pushing it right away. They're actually waiting for the camp first, so that they have the spell aura to use. which they're doing now. Bottom keep is now about to fall. Yeah, Zdoon gets it with Tyrael and is now probably going to move back in just a moment. Right, yep, here we go. They're trying to make the play. The Russians are just invading. Let's say, let's go, guys. Let's go. ETC with a stage dive and the slide, but it doesn't hit anything. This time Barnaby was ready. The salvo comes in, Sanctification negates most of it, and Sylvanas is down. Wave of Force used by Living to push them back in, and that's the second kill. Phoenix is down. They're going for Stalk next, and he falls down. Is Johanna. Again, we're having Toxic, of course, Focus 2, and that's a fourth kill in there. Yep, he's trying to escape, gets interrupted, and is going to die. Keeper's taking a little bit of damage, but by no means enough. And guess what's up again on the map? It's the boss. 10 kills against 3. And at this point, nothing left. Will move through the bot lane and can go straight for the core here. Core is open. Bot lane, the keep has been eliminated. There's no one left. There's only a lone wolf riding on the map somewhere, running on the map somewhere. Sylvanas at least is back, but still, you can't interrupt this. This is a freebie. It's an absolute freebie. And they're going for everything. They're going for everything. Siege Giant Camp left, Siege Giant Camp to the right. Could even time that if they wanted to. All of those keeps are low, by the way. Russians did actually great at the beginning of the game, but now this is a death push at the bottom of the map. They have to somehow force the fight in an ideal world behind it. I mean, it's 14 minutes. You might be able to defend it. If you get a quick kill in, you could be able to pull that off. Heroic abilities should all be up from all sides. And they're already anchoring the play here. They're waiting for a chance to drop the damage, but the boss is moving just unhindered to the core. Iron Skin is out. Farlander goes in from the side. Li Ming with a play and the setup, and that's Sylvanas down. Sylvanas is down, the fight continues. Stage dive comes in, isolation is being hit immediately. That's at least one goodie, but he has a big boy salvo. The boss is still fighting on the other hand, but it's already down to half HP. If they win the fight, they can still hold here. Ancestral keeps Stalk in play, but that core, of course, is falling, and all they have to do is turn it around and attack it. Even if Tyrael dies, the explosion is going to take another 5% off, and that is going to be it. Nothing left after that disaster of an opening into the game. They win Sky Temple. They are in the lead against, well, yes, they are in the lead. They take this. They are in the lead against Team Russia. I was like, what? And take the lead in the series. GG, and well played. Game number 4. Battlefield of Eternity. And I don't know about you, but I think Battlefield could be a pretty fantastic map for our 4th one. Because right now I expect some crazy comps to potentially come out. We have a couple of heroes that you need to think about. Li Ming, Vala, potentially Samuro, was actually still part of this particular match. But yeah, Li Ming and Vala are heroes that I could see both banned or taken. If they're not banned, they're probably going to be taken. We had double support Vala compositions already, so that could happen here too. But on Battlefield, you need heroes that can raise down the Immortal, and there's a lot that have already been banned out that we're not going to see here that usually do that job. So as the bans are starting to pile in, let's see if they're going to be picked or if they're going to get banned. Lunara already banned out. That's already the first one. That's another hero that in the past has done extremely well on Battlefield. And apparently they just want to shut that down right from the start. And first pick, first ban obviously go to Team Russia, which means they have the first pick here. Yeah, there's the Samuro ban, exactly. That's the Samuro shenanigans that we could have seen. That leaves us with Vala and Li Ming, two of the key heroes that could be played here, if they're not banned out. I mean, if you don't want to go into a first pick Li Ming, then I would definitely ban her. Okay, ETC is another strong one on the map. Without a doubt. But yeah. What do you ban out now? The Russians have first pick. So now you think, okay, what are they gonna grab here? Tyrael. Alright, they banned Tyrael instead. No Stalk Tyrael. Another hero where is really good at. But now that brings us into a first pick. And again, I mean, I honestly feel you have to go for Vala or Li Ming here. If you go for the Immortal Race, you need something along those lines. Are you really worried enough about your front line that you are picking a tank first? Yeah, apparently they are. Stork takes Johanna right away. Tanks again are getting limited, but we still have a couple around here. You could even play with the stitches on this map, to be honest. There's Li Ming, and there's Malfurion.
Grant us strength.
It's kind of nuts to me that you don't pick Li Ming in the early rotation here, and that you don't ban her out. So, yeah. Pass Vala. Yeah, there it is. Double support Vala. Double support Vala had to come in. Needed to play it, honestly. Is that the Oriel ban? Are they going to ban Oriel here? Yes, they do. Alright, they ban Oriel. Try and shut that down. Can still be played with Rhaegar and other heroes, obviously. But then on the other side, with Johanna taken, you could limit the front line a little bit more. What do we still have? What do we have in tanks left, actually? In actual tanks. There's not a lot left. I mean, Stitches is still there. So much for that. Outside of that, you don't have a lot of main tanks, to be honest. Most of the other tanks that are around are more so side laners that you can maybe put in a frontline situation. There's nothing left. Varian, Artanis. There's no real main tank. Or am I crazy? Yeah, they play Varian. They play Varian. They go for Varian here. Okay, they kind of have to. There's nothing else. It's a main tank Varian with Phoenix again. And now we need a support still. It could be Rhaegar. And, well, Rhaegar, what else? Rhaegar's the most likely, to be honest with you. And then it's still need a side laner. And side laner's also starting to become a little bit scarce here. Ah, Blaze. Yeah, Blaze. Blaze is actually very underplayed. Really surprising to me. How little he's played. They didn't expect him as like immediate first picks or bans or anything. But it took this long for Blaze to make an appearance here. Last pick. What's the side lane going up against Blaze now? Who's Varian going to be paired with for this one? Guys, if this goes to game 5, it's going to be nuts. Honestly. The panda! Nice! We see Chen, ladies and gentlemen. Second time that Chen appears. Panda power. Blaze versus Chen at the top lane. Varian main tank incoming. We are heading into game number 4 on Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 4, and it's getting crazy. On the left side for the Russians down in the series, we have Stork on Johanna, the last main tank left in the game. Kolya Martian on Rhaegar, Barnaby on Vala, Farlander on Tacita for the double support Vala combo, and Toxic on Blaze. On the right side of the map, we have Boss on Chen for nothing left for the offlane. We're seeing Kidney on Phoenix. Zadoon is playing a main tank Varian right now with Guru on Li Ming and Linked on Malfurion. It's getting hot in here. We already have 35 heroes banned out. If we are heading into a 5th game, there will be 41 heroes banned in total. It's going to be interesting. Look, by the way, at the builds here. The interesting part, the first one, is that Vala went into Hot Pursuit. So we don't see the focus into the arrow build, which is the traditional setup that you will see on this map in most cases as you are trying to win the Immortal Race. So instead we're going to get a traditional build. I don't even know... Are they going to be nuts enough to go into Creed? I don't think so. If Vala was up against Chen on lane, then you could try and make that play because you get free hits in against him the entire time. But as she's not, it would be a little bit crazy. I still expect them to go into a multi-shot on 4 and 7. I mean, let's find out. Talking about level 4 talents, everybody is of course hoping for Varian to go for the Lul Blades here. Everybody except sane people, of course, who know that it's going to be taunt, so that Li Ming can get the kill. Boss, by the way, with a fantastic skin here. Love it. That's a good old War Master Chen here, the white one as well. And now up to the top. Liquidne is trying to steal this one, so they had the rotation going. Malfurion is trying to keep himself outside of vision range the entire time. Camp at the bot lane has also been taken. I can't wait for the level 4 talent. I'm gonna be honest here. I want to see what happens on level 4. There's a few things that we definitely have to find out. Vala in particular, together with Varian, are the two culprits that we're gonna have an eye on. But I like that every single one of the two teams has now one of those key heroes for the map. Vala versus Li Ming. The double support hyper carry setup against Varian for the setup with Li Ming. And Chen with Blaze at the top lane. Chen is doing his thing at the top, drinking the entire time. You can see the shield pop up over and over and over again for him. Khaldor, of course, also working at his own quest on level 1, and he kind of has to. This is going to be really important for him later on, especially around 16. Vala is making the smart play, not going into the noob trap that some also call Creed of the Hunter, instead going straight for punishment. That's a big one. Varian has to be Taunt, and it is Taunt. That's my boy. That's my boy right there. Good boy. And again, we're having the setup where Kala's Light is chosen over the potential added life leech. Now again, if you're a little bit worried about your front line, you're trying to also make sure that the burst is not really an issue, then this is a good talent to take. And since you know that your opponent with Taunt is going to try and blow someone up pretty quickly, this is, in my opinion, a great choice. Yes, Vala would have loved that additional leech, but you need it for those instances, and this time it didn't happen. Vala down, and with a hyper carry eliminated. You know that fight is not going your way. Not at all. Both of them with a heavy commitment at the bot lane, as both of them have 5 heroes in. But this is going to be pretty much the setup. Khaldor is going to try and keep that shield for whenever Varian comes in with a taunt. And once that happens, that target has to be shielded. It gets the extra armor. If you survive the burst, you're very, very likely to have a great fight until Zadoon has it ready again. That's a big win here for Nothing Left, as they are claiming the halftime show. There's very little that the blue team could do up here at the top. Team Russia fighting this out as they're trying to see if they can maybe make the play down at the bottom of the map. Get someone here. Still interesting, like if you're... there's the taunt, there's the shield, and Kolya Martian survives. That's exactly what we're talking about. And now the turnaround attempt, of course. Nice jet propulsion. Good job from Toxic connecting 2 here. As of course you get a bit more damage in, but yep, Khaldor is going to have that shield ready whenever he needs it. Still interesting for me to see that multi-shot hybrid on Banabia's side. On this map, version of the idea, and Vala dies again. I mean, the shield on Tassadar is great, but you just can't sit at the side this heavily connected to Varian. That taunt is still a bit too much for you to handle. Once that we're having Gloom on 13, I could see Vala surviving through that, as if the shield keeps her alive long enough so that she gets out of the taunt. But still, this is the second kill that we're now seeing against the hyper carry, and if you play a double support Vala comp, that's a no-go. That is just a no-go. That's a big immortal. That is a big, big immortal shield there. 90% shields. Whew. That boy is gonna hurt. The 7 should be ready for both of them for the defense. Should drop in a moment, especially, of course, with a storm coming through here. Yep, there we have it. But again, can't bait that over the wall. Modern Infernal Shrines might look similar, but it's not quite the same thing. There's the taunt again. And this time the shield keeps them alive. But obviously the taunt setup for Li Ming's combo is just great. Potty Boss jumping in deep, doing Chen things. Jumping in people's faces, feet first. It's a little bit on the hit points though. That Immortal is still alive, and they are going even deeper now. 5 stacks, Potty Boss low, the stun, the kill, the taunt against Barnaby, but he gets the shield from Tassadar, and Guru is dead. Guru. Down he goes. That's a 2-0 in kills, but that fort is still down. Experience, it works out for them, but of course the passive XP is now going to start and come in for them slowly and steadily. But again, 2 kills against 2, 4 down. I mean, to be honest, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. If they would have lost a hero or 2 there, that momentum would have swung even more in favor of Nothing Left, and then they could have just taken the camps, they could have gotten the early 10, could have pushed into the second one as well. So now they just don't have that problem, but still, having more or less even game with even a lead experience for Team Russia. Again, negated eventually through that fort that was eliminated and the passive experience gains that they are now getting. but it's going to be a level 10 versus level 10 fight over the next Immortal, and there's really not much more that you can ask for at this point in time. So with that said, quest completion for Tacita is also starting to progress a little bit. He's currently sitting at 528. And there's Varian again, looking for that taunt, looking for that opening. And a lot of good hits coming in from Tacita as well. Stack, 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 all he needs to do. They have a lot of wave clear. They have a lot of poke too. I mean, the oil spill on Toxic is one thing, you have the stuns available. And the Russian team, they have now also, with Arsenal, a little bit more clear here too, and also, of course, damage output. We'll expect Rain of Vengeance in this case from Bala, just so that she can control Varian also a little bit better. I would be honestly shocked if she goes Strafe. We had a couple of Strafe picks lately when Bala was played, but I would be very, very surprised to see that. And there's the Rain of Vengeance. There's Shield, Rain of Vengeance, Bunker, Ancestral, Archon, Archon or Bust. Like at this point, what are you going to do with the wall? You want Archon. Chen is already looking there. And Chen goes into Storm, Earth and Fire. I don't know. Kek, giving up Kek. The meme factor is out of this world. How can you give up Kek? By the way, we're having Warbringer taken on level 10. And he goes wall. He actually went wall. No extra damage through Tacita. That's honestly a surprise to me. I mean, maybe they can prevent a couple of plays. Let's see how well those work out. Alright, he's going for the Trump build here. Build that wall, baby. Level 10, sitting right there. Nah, he's building those force walls quicker than US ever could. He's really good at that. That's shown in a couple of times also, of course, in StarCraft 2, but he needs to be alive for that. I'm not sure if that's gonna work out. That was nearly a kill against Tacita. The hit point pool that he has is still dirty, so you need to be careful. One good focus on him and he is down. Talking focus, once again they're starting to push through right here. Stark is coming in again. They're not sacrificing any ults just yet. Look at Blikidney sitting at the side. There's the force wall, zoning him out for a moment. Zadoon still looking for the next taunt. They're all poking the entire time. Tacita trying to soften them up with the storms. Nice dodge on the orb. Another wall is in. The pandas are trying to get Sin on the action, jump over it. And here comes the bunker. A bit late to dodge the damage, but still there to keep those two tanks alive. Well, or are they? Oh my god, the pandas all the way in the back line. And we nearly have the kill against Phoenix. He barely gets out. The rest of the team is low. The second Rain of Vengeance is missing, but the jet propulsion doesn't. And now they go for the second kill. Li Ming is down. They want more, but they're low. They're low and they have to be careful. They're trying. Oh my god, no! Stalk! The Panda takes him down. And that's now 4 versus 4. They get that counter kill. Stalk walks in and not even the shields of Tacita can keep him alive. Again, they go for the Immortal and that's another halftime show secured for them right there. Ooh, oh yeah, those taunts, they are dirty. They are dirty, dirty, dirty. They're trying to make the play for Chen, actually. There's that jet propulsion, there's the taunt on Rhaegar. Jet propulsion, the wall is in, and he's dead. Panda abuse, calling it right here. Unacceptable. Doesn't compute. Blikidney, on the other hand, yes, he's also dying. We have the Russians exactly where they want to be. They're being aggressive again, and there's another kill. They go for the triple. They take them down, and of course the idea now is to just get that bloody Immortal finally set up here. Guru at the same time going through the bot lane. Stalk is there. It's clearing the wave and is saying, yes, I'm going to take that XP. Thank you very much. We want to have 13 for our push too. And they're now, of course, dropping that Immortal. They're going to take that easily. And then we're going to have the transition of the Immortal. Very likely top side. I don't think they have to crash the wall there yet. But down at the bottom, at least an attempt to go for it. To be honest, this is a lot faster than I thought it would be. But they're still losing out on it. It's a weak Immortal, but it's an Immortal. It's a big win for them here already. They're starting to go in with level 13 talents. Of course, the top lane transition, that's what we're having here. Earth Shield comes in too, makes, again, the Ancestral easier for Rhaegar. But there's the Gloom. This is what I've been talking about earlier. If you have Gloom, even if you get taunted, as long as you get out of the taunt thanks to Tacita's shield and his level 4 talent, Color's Light, you have a chance to pop Gloom and still get out of there. That provides a lot of safety for Vala. For sure with this setup. And they have some serious damage here. But they're gonna try and take that fort down. Pandas from behind, going in again. Nice, Ancestral, good job. Banapia still safe. Here's the bunker on the ground. The Immortal is already working on the fort itself. Shen is gonna lose that ult soon, and yep, pops back into his natural form, the natural habitat. Only 3 connected here, and Shen is going in deep again, but gets stunned out as Toxic just keeps connecting these jet propulsions. Khaldor has to work on these walls a little bit. They're going all the wrong way. It's like, it's not quite the direction that you're aiming for here. I've already seen a lot of wall value. If the Russians are all of a sudden building walls, is that confirming collusion? Like, I'm not quite sure. Talons are even on both sides. That was a good Reign of Vengeance too. But the invite with 5 man again. And Khaldor is in the meantime at the bottom of the map. Again, Farlander wants to complete, of course, his level 1 quest. Once you have 16, you can soften them up easily with a double storm. The Echo, the Psionic Echo, is going to be absolutely fantastic here. Once that they can poke with that, you just have to delay it a little bit. The double support keeps you alive. You keep on poking, you get the oil spill out, get the storms out, and then Vala at some point can make the engage with the rest. Nice, the Dune actually trying to see if he can maybe sneak in on Farlander. But he sees it and moves away just in time. So once again, we're having them all move straight into the middle here, trying to chase maybe Body Boss. The Panda is it's a pretty thick Panda, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not quite sure if you want to focus him first, unless you can poke him. Stork is starting to lose some HP. They're really trying to go for him here. Toxic is missing, but it feels like the first jet propulsion in the entire game. That's a wall. Look at that. It's a beautiful wall. Once again. Mortar spawning. This is a cool game, I like it. We're a little bit of a cool combo too, of course, with this setup, but it's aggression from both sides. They're not sitting back and just waiting. They're actually going all in on that. And no taunt yet, but here comes the salvo. Bunkers on the ground. Dude is isolated and down. Great bunker placement. Fantastic bunker placement right there. They go for Phoenix. He jumps out. Now we're seeing Banapia getting attacked again. The Pandas are ferocious here. And down goes Phoenix. They get Phoenix. Can they get more? That's the question. Body Boss is on the run. Panda power. And that's a great wall that we have here. Yeah, no Panda drug dealer gets over that. Body Boss goes down. And that's the 3rd kill right there. And Immortals are open. Absolutely open right there. They're starting to make their play. Going straight for Immortal number 2. And this is the Russians just trying to force the 5th game. Give game 5. That's what we need right now. We need that 5th game right there. Bot lane, that's why we have also another Shaman. Well, the Shaman camp that they just took starting push through too. But this is awesome. This is a cool game. This is a really cool game. They want... Oh, that could be the great kill, but nope. Now you have, of course, also the cleanse and the kill again. Look at this. The force wall is fantastic. I doubted you, Farlander, and I apologize. Yes, you needed to learn a little bit about the placement at first. Some of them went kind of the wrong way, but that's the money point right there. Double trap against 2 heroes, killing both of them, getting level 16. Really good setup. Job well done by him, no doubt about that. 16 talents might even be ready for nothing left once that they start defending here. Could be the case. Actually, since they don't have anyone soaking the top lane experience and are only focusing on the bottom, it's not going to happen. But yeah, that's going to be difficult to deal with. So the fort is a forfeit. The question just is, how deep can you push this? How deep can you go with that Immortal with 100% shield and on top of that a level 16 talent advantage? That's going to be pretty sick. Yeah, I mean, right now you have the Frost Shot also on Vala that gives you control. You have so many tools against the taunt now. At the beginning of the game it was insane. It was giving so much value to them. But now you have Ancestral, you have the Cleanse, you have Khaldor's Shield, you have Gloom. So if Vala gets focused again, she has so many defensive tools here. Yeah, Frost Shot misses Guru, but he went over it anyways. But they want to keep here, and I mean, can't blame them. It's 60 minutes in and you have 100% shielded Immortal. Oh yeah, Panda out of that Immortal stunner, you're gonna be dead too. And here's these storms that I've been talking about. It's all completed. Dune is sitting in the back line. Can he go for Khaldor maybe? They're trying to make the play, and he gets the... Nah, there's the cleanse. cleanses in and negates it immediately. And the Ancestral keeps them alive as Phoenix falls, and Phoenix might not be the only one. Vanabir is going to have another Frost Shot in a second. He's already going for Zadoon, and that's the end of Varian. Varian down, Phoenix down. Their keep is down too, and they are going for their core. Malfurion falls, and the Russians, they are forcing game number 5. Only Li Ming and Chen remain. If Guro doesn't get a massive amount of resets now, it's all over. Polyboss is still drinking, and this is it as Team Russia and Nothing Left will find the conclusion on game number 5 in the series here at Meta Madness. Game 5, it's happening. We see game 5, and now I want to see if Johanna gets banned. Again, we are going to see 41 heroes banned out. We're already playing with a main tank variant and a Chen on the offlane because the tanks are pretty much gone. First pick in this is going to be absolutely crucial. It goes in this case to Nothing Left, which means that if you leave Johanna up, she's very, very likely be first picked. Tassadar gets banned. That's pretty much the immediate end of a double Vala composition, unless you want to go into Zarya again and really risk that together with Vala. And honestly, is Johanna getting banned out, yes or no? What are we going to see on that front line? It's the final map. The winner moves on to the grand final. The loser still has a chance in the lower bracket and will go up against Granite Gaming. Yeah, there's the Johanna ban. Goodbye. The battle for the front line is going to be real. The last time we ended up in that spot, we actually had an Uther double support composition with Uther as the, so to say, main tank. But now both of the teams will be in that spot. Now we have still a couple of offlaners that you can, in a pinch, play in the main tank role, but it is getting dicey. Yes, there goes Zarya too. So no more shields. No more shield shenanigans. No more Vala unless you really want to risk it. Oh, guys, this is gonna get good. Phoenix gets banned as well. I can appreciate that. That's a good ban. That's a very good ban. Alright, Phoenix gets banned out. Let's let the show begin. Malfurion on the first pick. And what else do we have? It's honestly, it's like the frontline game is the most important one right now. We still have, by the way, Li Ming up. Li Ming wasn't banned yet, so you can still play her, which is honestly nuts if you think about it. We're currently in game 5 and Li Ming hasn't been banned. Neither has Junkrat been banned. Those two things alone are a little bit crazy here. So now we have Junkrat played together with Rhaegar, the two supports that we've seen pretty much through most of the series here. Is someone gonna go for that double support? There's Li Ming, and there's Blaze. Right, that's the hero that you can play, one of the heroes you can play in the main tank position. Like again, everything else is banned. Tyrael is banned, Diablo's banned, Garrosh is banned, Nubrog is banned. They're all banned. All of them. No more main tanks here. What do we ban out now? Another offlaner? Limiting the melee heroes even more and then pick a double in your first rotation? How is Russia going to play that? Or another damage dealer? Oh, the Zero gets banned. No bruh for this one. And why is Nothing Left gonna take away here? Can still focus those melees. Leo was still in. That's honestly, I didn't even think about Leo. Leo is still in, but yeah. Alright, there we head into that. Leo gets banned out. And there we go. This is gonna be interesting to say the least. What are we going to see on the front line? Are we going to have that Uther? Are they going to go for something completely crazy? Mephisto Uther, there we have it. Uther frontline, double support with Uther on the front line. Uther, Rhaegar, Mephisto and Junkrat. That's what we're getting right now. That's what we're starting with. And the last two picks for Nothing Left. What are they going to play now? What are we going to see from them? It's a big map. It's a big map. What? Like, do they have anything that they can throw in here? I don't expect Vikings, don't get me wrong. But what's going to be the setup? They play Vala. Vala Zul. Li Ming, Vala, Blaze, and Zul are currently being played here. So what happens when we ban out 41 heroes? We play North American meta. Volskaya Foundry, and the final pick, ladies and gentlemen, for Team Russia. What's it gonna be? What are we gonna get here? At least one melee? Sonya! Alright. Sonya is in. Spin to win as we are heading into Volskaya Foundry, the final map of the series. We have two very interesting comps here. Vala Li Ming with a solo support but Blaze, and then the double support with Uther as the main tank plus Sonya. Let's jump into game number 5. Game number 5, Volskaya Foundry, Team Russia against nothing left. On the left side, we have the Russians with Stalk on Uther. Got a main tank something. Toxic on Sonya, Fallen on Mephisto, Kolya Martian on Rhaegar, and Banabir on Junkrat. On the right side of the map, Podyboss on Blaze, Linked on Malfurion. We're seeing Blikitni on Li Ming for nothing left, Guru on Vala, and Zadoon on Zul. Vala solo is always a bit of a liability because her hit point pool is just so small. But we're seeing an arrow build being used here with Monster Hunter on level 1 as we're heading into this game. And well, let's see who takes that. Who's going up against Granite Gaming in the lower bracket, and which team is going to make it into the grand final. At this point, we're still waiting for the talent choice on the side of Mephisto. Couple of options. He actually goes for a Skull Missile build here. Takes the Unyielding Power on level 1 and starts to fire away immediately for the first 2 stacks here. Increase the damage, get cooldown reduction in, and that can actually hurt quite a lot. So yeah, Banabir is already low himself. To me, one of the most amazing things with this setup is probably that Li Ming hasn't been banned. 41 heroes have been banned, and Li Ming isn't one of them. That's honestly mind-blowing. Everything else that we're seeing here I can kinda understand. Even Junkrat to an extent, even though I expected him to be banned during game 3 or 4. But as it happens, we still have Li Ming in the game. So well, let's see how this is going to work out with nothing left now going straight for the turret. The same as of course happening on the left side with Team Russia making the same play here. Currently having Banabir bodying Blikitni a little bit at the top lane. Tried also to push him back into the fight, but that didn't happen. Sonya could actually have a really good setup here. Toxic is missing the spear, but if you think about it, with a double support behind her, Sonya should have a lot of survivability. I mean, there is not really that much in form of stuns. If you go Hurricane, for example, you can mitigate most of the damage or most of the control that comes out of the red team. The only thing that you really have to deal with is the stun that we could see from the jet propulsion. So if you think about it like that, especially if they're going into Ancestral Strength and into Divine Shield, Sonya could literally be unkillable throughout all of this. So that's one of the things that would probably concern me a bit if I'm currently looking at that setup from the perspective of nothing left. Podyboss would have to hit every single stun pretty much. I mean, with that said, there's obviously a lot of potential through the wave clear that they have right now, and especially when you're looking towards Zul, if he can get a good setup. Seemingly we're having a bit of problem on the side of nothing left with Li Ming dropping, but should be back in just a second. But the problem still is if Li Ming is actually getting a full combo off against a setup from Zadoon's Zul when he gets the jailers through, and then the jet propulsion afterwards, then you have a lot of damage that you can drop on target. But I personally still feel that with the setup that we have for Team Russia, if you go Ancestral, if you go also at the same time into the Divine Shield from Stalk, how do you kill anything? Seriously, how is nothing left killing anything here? Their biggest problem would pretty much be that they don't have enough to drop a target quickly. And for Team Russia, it would become crucial that they don't stagger those two, that they don't stack the two cooldowns, that they don't hit the same target. But as long as you communicate well, they should be in a position where they could really keep everyone alive for the longest time being. The problem that you have with it too is that you have a lot of self-sustain on Sonya herself. I would like to see Hurricane being used from her as a talent. to just keep herself alive a little bit longer, because as long as Sonya just occupies the entire space here, it is keeping them busy. You're having the damage coming in from Mephisto and from Junkrat from the backline. So this is actually starting to become really, really worrisome from the perspective of nothing left. They are more so on the squishy side. They have with, well, Fury and one hero to keep them all alive. They're self-sustained for a blaze. I mean, if you have the oil spill and you set it fire, Potibos can gain some hit points and can really try and occupy the space here on the first objective. Zul has the Harvest Vitality, but killing someone here is going to be super tricky for them. So once that Li Ming is back, we're definitely going to have to watch out for that and see how successful they are in dropping targets, because it's not going to be easy against the double support setup. And with Sonya at the front occupying them, I could definitely see them having a tough time to kill anything here. And we're back. Li Ming is back to business. Well, actually, it's still a bot here. Linked is barely escaping. But so apparently the problem that we had for Blikitny as he dropped was that his electricity went down. Not quite the thing that you want to have to happen in a 5th map, but yeah. We're having Gurno in. Where's Li Ming? There we have it. For some reason he's still marked as a bot. I certainly hope that he's actually back. He's getting the value in from the side here. But yep, talents are taken, and as we said before, Hurricane as the level 4 talent choice. That's what I want to see here. Potibos is pausing it again because I think Blikitny might be back, but he's definitely not taking control of the hero here yet. 5th game problems, ladies and gentlemen, but Blikitny is back and immediately gets the combo in. Zul down, Sonya down, Uther down. The Russians got wrecked. Damn. I mean, again, I expect a lot of problems on nothing left side to get kills in the later stages of the game when we have heroic abilities in play. But I honestly already assumed that in those little skirmishes over here, with a Sonya and double support setup, it would be tricky for them to get anything done. So after we had a couple of hiccups here with Blikitny's electricity being a bit of an issue, they actually win the healing beacon and they get 2 kills in. So nicely done by them. Actually, I'm saying they won the healing beacon. They did, right? I haven't really seen it yet. I think it was dropped immediately. Was that the thing? Yep, healing beacon was dropped during... Nah, Potibos has it. Okay. Didn't check out Blaze here. But yeah, it's getting spicy. Stacks are coming in. We're seeing nothing left with the control of the checkpoint. So they're starting to get that. Starting to move in here too. Currently having in the middle Zadoon doing his little spiel here. But of course he gets the damage pushed onto him by Farlands and Mephisto, and that brought Zul down to 50% HP. Not even that, less than that actually. But with level 7 talents on the board, they have a slight power spike that just doesn't exist on Team Russia yet. Especially the repeating arrow is of course a big tool to have. 70% on that checkpoint don't make things any better right now. So with that, we're having them starting to invade, finally trying to fight for the first protector here, and they really have to. There's a camp top lane also giving him a little bit of a lead. Already level 7, it keeps cleanse on Rega in time. There's the overtime. Double support heals. Do they have the damage? Stalk is low though, really low. And that healing beacon is doing work. Potibos missing that jet propulsion, but Uther is dead and so is Sonya. Damn. Despite the double support, they are getting murdered in these instances. If level 10 is going to change that, it would be great, but right now it's 4 kills against 1, and we have nothing left, starting to take the lead here. Starting to move in right away. Let's see quickly what we have in terms of damage on this time. 13,000. The damage numbers aren't really too bad. I mean, Junkrat is sitting at 10k roughly. We're seeing Sonya at 5 less than Uther, by the way. But yeah, with a level lead, nothing left is looking really strong here. This is a map that lives a lot for momentum, and especially with the first protector. Every single objective that you win, the idea is that you prepare for the next objective. As it's already predetermined where those objectives spawn, you go from mid lane to top lane, from top lane to bot lane, back to mid lane. You always know which lane to prep, and with lane prep we're talking about taking down the fort, taking down the fountain too. So that's always the goal. And they've obliterated the top lane already, which means that they have a huge advantage heading into objective number 2. And with the early level 10 that they're going to get as well, they might even be able to get a few more kills. Even if that isn't the case, it should lead to an earlier level 13. I'm mentioning 13 talents because that's normally the time when the objective spawns. That's when you're trying to fight them. And of course, with that much of a lead, you get free items too. The entire thing of this map is to run with the momentum, to prepare lanes, to get the objective, to also then get those items. And this is exactly why we're seeing the quick focus at the bottom left for the turret and not an attempted fight over the healing beacon. Because with level 10 abilities on your opponent's side, you can't fight for the healing beacon anyways. But if you don't take your turret right away, they might just steal that away from you too. So now we're having pretty much the talents we would expect here. But I'm still curious for the level 10 abilities for Team Russia, because I want to see if we're going to see the Divine Storm or the Divine Shield. Are they going to go into the double panic buttons, or are we going to see a little bit more control attempted by Uther as they're moving into those close quarter fights? Ancestral, as we expected, and yep, Divine Shield. Now they have to make sure that they're not stacking cooldowns. This is going to be where the survivability comes in. Riptire with a value, not getting the kill, but getting a lot of damage pushed out and forcing Link to go straight for the Tranquility here. Yeah, Sonya has a lot of survivability with the Berserker's Wrath, of course, now. We're seeing Ancestral Healing, we're seeing also Divine Shield. And that's exactly what we are going to see during those fights now. This is really the moment that I talked about earlier. Once level 10's in, how do you kill something? And if Russia plays that well and coordinates their panic buttons, they should be able to sustain themselves through a lot here. So that's currently what I'm looking for the most. But Nothing Left is the team that got the kills up to this point. And I question their ability of taking down Sonya, of taking down Uther. Granted, that was before level 10. But they so far in the early game at least proved that they have the damage output that they can drop targets. The only question that remains is, can they still do that after we're having now all those level 10 abilities in. The bunker is of course going to keep Nothing Left alive during a lot of this damage that can come out. Riptire, for example. But everything else is not really screaming, hey, we're dropping them now. There's not even a Twilight Dream. There's Tranquility being used because they feel they need also some sustain. And I don't really blame them for the choice or anything. But with the Twilight Dream and the Silence, you might be able to wreck that combo in the back. I understand what they go for Tranquility here. But let's see if they have the damage output that they need later on. Damage is going to increase a little bit. Siphoning Arrow used on level 13 now too. And this is exactly what I said earlier. Level 13 and 8 seconds for the objective. So exactly that setup is happening. That's why they're currently busy on all of the lanes trying to get a bit of additional experience. Now this is obviously an objective that is always just like really drawing time. So you can just sacrifice 50-60%, you could even sacrifice 99 as long as you're making the play for the objective then later on. And they're going to try and make that play once they have 13 talents. But here is still the problem. We have items on both sides, but there is an item advantage for Nothing Left. That's one advantage they have going into this. They have the lead on the objective itself, and they have the fountain. So they have a fallback option that they can use. And now with level 13 talents nearly ready, we're already seeing them starting to move towards the top. Everybody is fighting a little bit in the middle. Healing Ward is already getting dropped here. Seeing if they can maybe even get a kill, but it's all about the experience right now. There's a level 13. Alright, good damage against Stalk, but one of the arrows misses. Could have been a little bit more. 13 talents are in. That gives us, first of all, the Mystical Spear, but also the Abhorrent Skull, so the extra spell power. And with the 26 stacks that we have on level 1, that can start to hurt for sure. There's the 99%, and now they have to fight. And immediately the fallback, trying to make the play for another healing beacon, and thanks to Monster Hunter, they are just melting that thing away. Farlander gets some damage in, but as you can see, that's now 2 healing beacons and 2 turrets on their side against 2 turrets. They have 2 additional items, and that's 2 healing beacons for them. 13 versus 14. Cooldowns are pretty much all up at this point. Sonya doesn't have her Wrath of the Berserker though. That is a bit of an issue. 44%, 46 against 99. This is where the party starts. Yep, there's already the turrets on the ground. Healing wards in the back. Farlander with the damage, trying to poke in. Stalk is trying to make the play here. Here comes the ult from Zul. Already we are seeing the Riptire coming through, but the Ancestral keeps Stalk alive. Divine Shield not used yet. Can still drop that. Might have to actually. Everybody's low on the Russian team. Everybody is low here. And we're seeing still a turret falling. They're getting dropped at the healing beacon too, and Stalk dies. Stalk goes down. He's ghosting around. He's trying to keep them alive with a trade, but that's the kill against Sonya. Poripo survived, and everybody on the side of their opponent is falling. A full team wipe as we have Nothing Left moving through the top. Unbelievable. Sonya Uther and Rhaegar, and they are still not able to keep those heroes alive. Their massive breakthrough at the wall as they are moving in. They have level 60 now on the board as well. I don't think they can core with this. They might be able to. Death timers are low. Can you really go for it right now? They're trying to. 9 kills against 1 and they're moving in. But it's still an early protector. And I don't really think they can make that play. They're trying to for sure. There's a quest completed for Guru. And Vala goes down. And that's the end of that core attempt. The keep is down. That alone is already a big win. That's a big win right there. But they tried to go for the core and they just went a little bit too deep for that. Vala went down, and once one of the damage dealers is eliminated, you have no chance of going for the core here anymore. 33,000 damage by Vala, murdering it. Li Ming on 26k. Got a lot of resets here. And again, they're starting to go in with 9 kills against 2, but that kill against Vala, it might have only been the second kill for them, but it was an important one for sure. Now, the one thing that they failed to do is prepare for the third objective. That's an aggressive one. It's a 5 versus 4, but there's no 16. There's the jet propulsion hitting only in the back line. They're trying to make the play right here. Bunker on the ground gets melted into oblivion within a second. The quest completed, and the kill against Blaze is inevitable. It is inevitable. There's no saving him anymore. And now they're trying to turn it against Vala. Great move with the Raid of Vengeance to stop them. But if the lockdown happens, then Vala might have fallen. And there's still a wedge driven behind between them. Zudun is taking damage. Here comes Vala, trying to get the kill. Once again, fallen with the attempt to drop another target, but they can't. 17 against 15. And again, bot lane. This one is still safe. They can fight on pretty much eye level for the third one if they close that experience gap and if there's no 20 on the board. They're trying to make the play for Zudun. They don't quite get that, but they have 16 now. And obviously with the level 1 completed and now also the lightning reaction taken, that's a lot of damage right there. Massive focus from Uther straight into the Holy Light here. Completely going through with that build here. In terms of builds, we have now also Seething Hatred taken. Don't really see that all that often, especially with this setup. I would have expected them to go for Frostshot, to be absolutely honest. Get more control in the fight. They already have quite a bit, but that would have been a big one. But they're not going for that at all. Seething Hatred is not a talent that you see really all that much. It really keeps you, first of all, of course, with... you keep your mana up just simply because you're in that spot. But also, when you're going for the trade, that extra movement speed is fantastic. With also the Monster Hunter and the completion of the level 4 talent, they're taking every single camp that they can on the map. Zudun gets a bit forced into this, gets stunned out. He's actually in trouble. Survives though, at least for now, but the rest of the team is moving into Zudun. Oh, Bunker barely. Sonya still in the middle here. They're trying to make the play for Rhaegar. Self-Ancestral on the doggy as we have Zul falling and they're following it up already. The Russians again with a comeback attempt. Banabir jumping in, going straight in from the side. Divine Shield has been used too. Every single ult has already been used. Li Ming wants the reset and she gets the first one. She gets the second. Down go Junkrat and Mephisto, and they are chasing them away again. Collier Martian trying to keep them in play here. The arrow still bouncing as we have the lead in experience. 4-0 left. They should have 20 for this one. They should have 20 in this 5th game. The winner of this match goes to the grand final. The loser makes it down to face off against Granite Gaming in the lower bracket. And Granite Gaming, they have been playing some crazy games. It's a tough team to beat and they all know it. No one wants to face off against them. But yeah, now it's 17 against 19. 5 versus 5 in another 5 seconds. At level 19.5. And with every single wave that they take right now, they get closer to level 20. The damage output of Vala here is absolutely nuts. I mean, even with the resets on Li Ming, she wasn't able to get more damage than Vala. The arrow build once again delivering. Especially, of course, since you're having all of these fights on the objective itself where there are no minion waves, you can get a lot of arrow value here. Especially if you're being aggressive with the repeating arrow and can use that. 11 kills against 4. And now we're, of course, seeing Team Russia trying to make that play here. They kind of have to. The problem is that we see level 20 any second. And once that's the case, you have to take a fight that you are not really keen on fighting. There is no chance for Team Russia to get level 20 right now. If they want to defend against the third protector and get level 20, they might have a chance if they split onto the lanes. But look at this. They're already wrapping around here. 2 talents haven't even been taken. We would expect the fortified bunker to be taken. Serenity comes in for Malfurion. Farflight Quiver, of course. And they're starting to push them low. They're starting to go for it. Guro is there. Stork is already low, but the Rain of Vengeance misses him. Zedun himself is low, though. Riptire comes in. And despite the Storm Talent advantage, the fight isn't over just yet. But Stork is starting to drop low. He's dodging whatever he can dodge here. Needs to be careful, and Barnabia is split from the rest of the team. There's the items on the ground. Divine Shield on Sonya. As Toxic had to be careful. Poor T-Boss. He doesn't have the cooldown anymore. Poor T-Boss. Oh, and he might get away. Is there stun? And there's the kill. 1 kill in. 1 kill in. But Toxic goes down. That's the kill against Sonya. And that's the reset for Li Ming. And she takes full advantage of it. Uther and Rhaegar both dropping. Farlander and Barnabia, the damage dealers, are the only ones left here. But Farlander is about to get taken out by Blake Kidney. Goes in, gets the kill, and now Junkrat, he's the only survivor. Guru doesn't even follow him, doesn't care any longer. They're in a perfect spot. 99%, but we see nothing left on the point once more. Guru with the Monster Hunter, he just even goes for it. And the catapults are already on the core. That's a triple catapult. Barnabia is going to push this back, but obviously this has to be it. You already have the core down to 45% thanks to the Winions. And now we're seeing them break through the bot lane, not even wasting time going to the top. And why would they? They have the minions pushing in. They're going through the bottom of the map right now. 61,000 damage from Vala, 49k from Mephisto, and with that Protector, 17 minutes into the game, they just simply have to walk past the keep. They don't even have to attack it and go for the core. It's already too low. Guru gets attacked here and slowed down for a moment, dropping the turret to soak a couple of the shots. But this is game as Team Russia drops to the lower bracket against Granite Gaming, and we have nothing left in the grand final of Meta Madness.